welcome to another session of Keep the Beat with Pete. And today we wanted to pick up from where we left off with rolls, and we went through, as you know, in a few different segments, the 3 and 4 strokes, and then all the way up to rolling through the whole measure. So today we wanted to do work in jazz, and we want to talk about what they call kick beats or setups. And then eventually you'll take that roll material, probably in the next segment, and we will see how these things are really closely connected. So let's just take some basic kick beats. Skeleton. This goes way back to years ago when I was working with Stanley Spector, but you'll see this kind of thing in a lot of different books. So some people call them kick beats, he's calling them setups, and these are the basic ones that I would start with that lead to some of the common things you'll see in jazz, right? So I'm working like around a 120 tempo, okay? So it'd be like, yeah, 120. So there's 8 basic ones. Here's the first one. Something basic. 2, 2, 3. And then the next one, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. 1. So the first one was on the lead after 3. This is on the lead after 1. Now you'll see there's a few strokes here. This is all happening in the second measure. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. And the next one is happening on the beginning of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4. Then you go into number 5, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then of course it goes on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and finally 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, these are so basic, you could put them in your own music software program and notate them, or you can write them out. But it's really, time, like in 4/4 time. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the kick, or what you would call the setup for the horns or some piece of music that's going to happen, the guitar lick or whatever, would come in the second measure for this particular sort of exercise. So like as I said, just quickly, so I'll go through all 8 of them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Next one, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Now the third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Fourth one, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth, So you would say, well, gee, Pete, I've heard all of these in all kinds of music all the time. That's the point. So the idea here is that, of course, as we do with everything, now you mix and match them, and you'll start hearing phrases from a lot of the tunes that you've heard over the years. So again, at a nice, relaxed tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's linked right to other things you'll see in a lot of big band charts. So setups, kick beats, however you would like to refer to them. I've heard them, called a lot of different, referenced a lot of different ways over the years. So that's the skeleton. That's what I would call the skeletal outline of it. I mean, sometimes that's all it is. And then, now comes the reference to our prior videos. If you haven't watched them, go back and watch the ones on rolls. With some of these figures, you would start to introduce rolls. So, even something simple, like we did the 3-stroke roll. 1, 2, 3. Drag the rough, okay? 1, 2, 3. So you can see with this outline, the skeletal outline, you start to notice where you want to place these hits, where a lot of them occur. In a lot of, even modern charts, they're going to occur a lot of times in this framework. And then you can start placing rolls and different figures as you get your ear trained to what length of roll you want, or do you want to roll throughout the measure, as we talked about, you could roll all the way through, half the way through the measure, or just for part of this kick. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. So there's what we're going for. I would get familiar with these 8. Again, it's happening in the second measure just as far as the exercise or the setup is. So number 1 is all triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So number 1 is the lead after 3. The second one is the lead after 1. The third one is the lead after 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go into 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. And you just, then the lead after 1 and 2. And so you work through these 8, and then you start placing your rolls and mixing and matching them, combining them. And then you make your own phrases, but I mean the music is there, so I my 1, 2, 3. There you have it. That's part 1. We'll take this a little further where you'll see where you want to drop the bass drum in, where you want to place the kicks in different places, where you want to start them different, parts of the measure. But the skeletal outline, as we often say, that's about 10 minutes. The skeletal outline is the most important part of this, because you start to get comfortable with how this feels. And you'll start to see this in a lot of charts that you play in the jazz idiom. We'll do some in the funk and rock and fusion areas too, where these rolls come into play, and there's a lot of setups. And rolls, by the way, are really great connectors. In fact, I think it was Bill Bruford who wrote the book years ago, When in Doubt, Roll. So if you're in a song and you come to a measure and you think you might have missed something, just roll your way through to the next measure. Learning your rolls, as we talked about in those prior ones, and combining it with this skeletal outline, like for jazz purposes, is going to take you a long way. And then you start training your ear to figure out what part of the phrase or what part of the measure you want to have the roll play. What role does the roll play? And I found this very helpful over the years, and a lot of times when I see charts, I see these things happening, and I hear the music. I mean, Buddy Rich was famous for really creating beautiful rolls and setups, but there's so many, Mel Lewis, there's so many great big band drummers that, Butch Miles, and the Duke Ellington drummers, a lot of them, Louis Bellson, there were so many great ones that played in that idiom. But even small band drummers, that Elvin Jones had these different kinds of setups, Philly Joe Jones, Tony Williams, where we're going to place these hits. So work on that. That's kind of part one, and it's in a jazz idiom. We'll take it up a little bit further with substitutions, bass drum substitutions, starting the phrase in different places. If you go back and look at the early jazz comping and the ride cymbal videos earlier in this series, you'll see that there's a lot of patterns we talk about, and you can take those patterns and see how this would link with them, and then study your rolls, as we talked about in the prior video. So you go back and watch some of them and pick up some pointers and review it. But that's it. That's part one on setup/kick beats in a jazz idiom. So remember, hit that subscribe button. If you have comments or questions, contact me on my website, and I will put that in the link to this video, and as I've done previously. And if there's other questions and you want to raise or comments you want to add, please do so. We'll talk about it as a drumming community. Okay? So remember, keep the beat with Pete. Peace out.